I'm truly obliged. And I hope that we can clarify certain myths, legends, and we can distinguish the legends and myths from the truth.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I'm sure you are able to do it. So let's start. First, I would like to ask you this. Why did you decide to come to Serbia? Actually, it was Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. It was, I think, something like August, September 1992, if I'm right. Why did you come here?
Well, after the MGM debacle, when we lost MGM and we owed Credit Lyonnais Bank Netherlands $1.23 billion, which you could have bought probably half of Yugoslavia at the time there, not now. Now you'd be lucky to find a square meter for that price there, which is how things have improved. I went to Geneva and I went to see my friend Bernie Kornfeld. Bernie Kornfeld was at one time the richest man in the world. He had a castle on the border between Switzerland and France, and he was a good friend of mine for a long time. I went to Geneva first at the Diplomat Hotel to see my friend Freddie there, and he told me that the week before he had hosted a party of Credit Lyonnais people at the hotel in Geneva. And he said to me, Giovanni, you're in a very dangerous position. It's not about the money. It's about the scandal that you can cause because you are the link to the scandal. So he said, and these people are quite capable of killing you. So I thought to myself, I spoke to Bernie Kornfeld. I met Misha Chulovic and Radoit Sinicevic, who I still don't quite understand what they were doing there, but it doesn't matter because it's none of my business. And as my clients say, the man who minds his own business is rarely killed. So I didn't ask too many questions. I had a friend with me called Wilkins. And I said, Jeffrey, what shall we do? He said, well, we better get out and go and hide somewhere for a while. And I thought to myself, where's the best place to hide where people can't come? A war zone. I didn't even know there was a war in 1992. I mean, from the United States of America, other than I think you had one of your politicians was the owner of ICN Galanica. I mean, Panich, wasn't it? There, I'd met with him in America, met with him in. So I thought, well, it's a war zone. Anyone comes there, we can find them. And that's how I came to Serbia. I was invited by the Serbian government, or it was then the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. There, I came there. I stayed at the Majestic Hotel, which was then run by Gospodin Gavron. That's his nickname there. He was the manager there. Unfortunately, he committed suicide a few years later for reasons that we can go into in due course there. And I was hosted and protected because anyone coming into Serbia would be checked. So anyone wanting to try anything with me, I would have the full protection. Now, I only expected to stay like a few weeks. I stayed 8 years, found a beautiful wife. We have a wonderful children, and I am a citizen of the Republic of Serbia. Remember, Milosevic did not make me a citizen of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia. He made me a citizen of Serbia. So he must have known in his own mind at the time what was going to happen in the future. Because had I have been made a citizen of the Federal Republic of Yugoslavia, I'd have nothing today.
Yeah. So you just came here just to, let's say, run away from troubles, and then you met some people who are, well, who were very prominent here by business. They performed here, and they were really, let's say, powerful people in this country. But did you know anyone of them before? I don't mean Misha Čulafić and Radojica Nikšić, but actually there were some rumors that you met Željko Ražnatović, Arkan, 10 years before you arrived in Yugoslavia. Is it true?
That is absolutely correct. He was working in a restaurant in London. That is it. No more, no less. You could go to a restaurant in Milan, meet somebody, and 10 years later, that person becomes somebody. But at the time, you know, I didn't know. When, for example, when I met Bin Laden in 1998, he wasn't even wanted. So, you know, people say, oh, why didn't you do? Who the heck, you know, it is what it is. I had met him. When I was at the Majestic Hotel in the restaurant there with Gospodin, who was the director of RTS television, there he was there with Radojica, you know, and with a number of other people there. All of a sudden, we saw a number of people, you know, 6, 7, 8 people coming by to sit at a table. Arkan was one of them. He turned around, looked at me. He came over. He said, "Don't we know each other?" You see what a brilliant brain that he had after 10 years, just a meeting of maybe 5 minutes, you know, in a restaurant, you know, many, many years back. And I said, well, your face looks, I didn't know who the hell he was. You know, I had no idea who he was. He said, yes, he said, didn't we meet in London? I said, I think we did. He said, under different circumstances. He said, yes, they were different circumstances. So that's how I met Željko. Forget all that crap and nonsense that's been written about bank robberies and jumping out of windows and all that. And Fabio, whatever the hell that. I am Đovani Di Stefano. I've never been known as anything else than that. I've never done a bank robbery with Arkan yet, and I don't look as if I'm going to, because the poor man is deceased. So, you know, we've never done anything like that before, and everything that we did correctly and properly.
Okay, there are some rumors which are not based on some bad stories. There are some nice rumors, if I might say, like you are responsible, or actually you arranged a meeting of Ceca and Arkan. Is it the truth?
Well, we went to a place where she was singing, and that's as far. But I mean, I could be taking you to a restaurant where someone is singing and you meet someone. How the hell do I know that you're going to meet, fall in love, and get married? You know, it's not something that was on the agenda for Željko. You know, he was with Natalia at the time there. He had his children and everything there. Obviously, like most Balkan men, you know, there is always indiscretions there, but it wasn't planned. There was nothing premeditated. You cannot stop the heart. You cannot injunct the heart. I said to Željko, do you really want to marry Ceca? He said, I'm in love, Đovani. What can I do? I said, well, you're married already. He said, but I'm in love. I love this woman. And I said, well, you must follow your heart. And that's what happened. And he did. And, you know, he got married. And his only worry when we went to pick her up in the Serbian tradition was to shoot the jabuka. That was the only thing that I didn't even know that there was. But then I remember my father-in-law, General Stanic, there, who also, when he went to fetch his bride, my mother-in-law, he went with horses from Guča to wherever the hell she lived in, you know, in what then was Croatia. So that's the tradition of Serbia. You have to perform a task to see whether you can win the bride. And he did shoot the jabuka, and you got the bride.
Yeah. And that wedding ceremony was really something special for the people of Serbia, not only Serbia but whole region, because Ceca was popular in all ex-Yugoslavian countries. Did you pay for that wedding?
Yes, and I'm not ashamed I've said so. And I also paid for the haljina, which I didn't even know what the hell it meant, but it was the wedding dress, which was beautiful. I mean, you need to understand that Željko was in love and loved Teta, both. They are very rare commodities these days. You can love a person but not be in love, or you can be in love and not love someone. There, you know, he was in love with her and loved her dearly and wanted more children. And obviously, you know, we can go into what happened to him in 2000, which is something that it will be something exclusive for your, you know, for your viewers there. The actual reality, because if you believe that Gavrić acted alone with Nikolić, just have your viewers have a look at the photographs of Gavrić, Nikolić, and the other guy, and just look at their faces and tell me if you believe that those three people are capable of murdering in cold blood, premeditated, Željko Arkan Raznatović, the head of the Srpska Dobrovoljačka Garda. It didn't happen that way. It is not. They may have been the executors. One of them may have been. He was 23 at the time, and he was off sick, you know, from being in the military there. You know, this was a state-sponsored assassination. And remember, in the same way that Kennedy was killed, they used an idiot person there to do that there. John Lennon was killed by an idiot. You know, there's also talk of that there. But Željko was murdered because had he still lived today, he would have become president of what then was Serbia Montenegro. I would have been his foreign minister because I'm still a member of the Stranska Jedinstva, you know, the Serbian Unity Party. I am still now the commandant of the Srpska Dobrovoljačka Garda because Mr. Pelević is dead and Željko is deceased, both of them. That leaves me. Whether they will ever be convened again is a matter of speculation. Let me tell you this for your viewers. In the unlikely event that the borders of the Republic of Serbia is compromised, I will have no hesitation at calling the members of the Srpska Dobrovoljačka Garda to defend the land, because I am a citizen of Serbia. I'm also an Italian citizen, I know. I was born here, but I'm very much a Serbian citizen there, and I will defend those borders to the death. And I will call upon the Srpska Dobrovoljačka Garda, and there are many, a lot more than what you think that would be ready, but only in the event that the borders of the Republic of Serbia are compromised.